Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm a learning facilitator at the TGR Learning Lab in Anaheim, California. For today's STEM Unplugged video, I'm going to introduce you to chromatography. We'll talk about how it can be used for science and for art. So let's get started. To start our experiment, we need to gather our supplies. I have several types of washable markers, some absorbent paper, a cup, scissors, a clip, a wooden dowel, and a pencil. To set everything up, I've cut a piece of paper so that it'll fit in my cup, and I've drawn a line about an inch from the bottom of the paper using a pencil. Along that line, I'm using the washable markers to draw some dots. You want to make sure that they're spaced apart and have a good amount of ink on the paper. You can use your pencil to label each color below the dot. Now we need to fill our cup with some water. Be sure to use your paper to measure how high the water should go. You want your water level to be just below the ink when we put it all together. When that's ready, you can use the dowel and clip to suspend the piece of paper in the cup. We're going to leave this here for about 10 minutes and let science do its thing. While we wait for our test to finish, let's look at the science behind it all. In this experiment, water is considered a solvent, and the ink is our solute. In chemistry, a solvent is something that is able to dissolve a solute. That's why we needed to make sure we used washable markers. As the water is absorbed by the paper, it'll move up, passing through the ink and slowly dissolving as it travels. When this happens, the ink is carried up the paper, separating it into its different components. This is a useful technique used in chemistry for separating a mixture of chemical substances into its individual components so that it can be analyzed. Now let's take a look at how our experiment went. Looking at a time lapse of our test, you can clearly see the solution traveling up the paper and separating the ink into its different components. Once it's done, you can take it out and let it dry to study it even further. We can use this technique in a lot of different ways. You may have noticed that separating ink into different components make a lot of different colors and patterns. We can use this experiment to make some chromatography art. I'm going to use a technique called radial chromatography and use paper that's cut into a circle instead. I'll use washable markers to draw a pattern onto my paper. This time, I'll use a dropper to slowly add water to the center of my art and watch it spread in a radial pattern. You can test this technique at home and try drawing different patterns to see how they turn out. Thanks for joining me in today's STEM Unplugged video. I hope you enjoyed studying chromatography and making some art with this cool technique. Be sure to like and share this video. More videos to come soon. Till then, see you next time.